Hey friends, welcome to Creative X. My name is Brad Hussey. In our community, the Creative X crew, we have a whole bunch of high-performing freelancers, creative studio owners, and web design business owners who are building sites for clients using Editor X and improving their craft every day. And so one of those ways that we want to help you succeed in your web design business is giving constructive feedback and criticism on your work so that you can get better at your craft and deliver higher value work and therefore get higher value clients and get paid more. Because to be honest, the better your work, the better your designs communicate the value of your clients' needs, the more you're going to get paid and the more clients you're going to get. Okay. So that's what we want to do. Today, we're going to be taking a site that was submitted by one of our crew members for a beautiful guest house vacation rental in Cape Town. And the site that was submitted needed a little bit of help.
Well, obviously it needs a little bit of paint, but...
Yeah, it needs some work, but then don't we all?
So that's what we're gonna try to do today, is I'm gonna try and take what's already there and elevate the design to best match the offering on the table, which is this beautiful property. And so I'm gonna be using my own personal design opinion, things that I just like. Also, it's gonna be backed by design principles like balance, hierarchy, color. I think I already said hierarchy, structure, layout. We're gonna make sure to back it with actual science, at least design science. And we're gonna take a little inspiration from a couple sites as well. So strap in, grab a drink, watch me hopefully make this site look much better. Let's go. So let's take a look at bayflowers.co.za.
Nice.
It's a guest house in Cape Town. I'm assuming that's South Africa. And my first impressions here is, well, needs a little bit of work. Here's why, because I'm assuming this is an incredible property and it's probably really appealing. But this experience is not doing it any favors. I apologize in advance if my critiques and feedback are a little bit harsh, but so I'm only doing this because I want you to win and I want you to succeed. So this needs a full facelift. So what I see here is big background image competing with so much. I see a logo conflicting with the background. I see this really tight, condensed navigation bar, inquire now. It's all the sizing is off, the space, the layout, the logo dips lower than the navigation. Inquire now, call to action dips lower. Is this a button? Is it a link? Is it a navigation item? Why is it so big? We have a language switcher that is the same style as the Inquire Now. We have a big transparent gray container trying to lift the content off of the huge conflicting busy background image. We have like a slab serif welcome font quietly situated in a cul-de-sac. Welcome. That's a lost opportunity for selling what this is. I imagine that this could do so much better. Inquire now. Can't I just book now? Or like, I feel like there's a stronger call to action here. The space, the location, rooms, and rates. Okay, so yeah, we want to know about the space, the location, rooms, and rates. Why can't this all be on one page? I feel like we should have like one beautiful landing page that just has everything on it. Why do I need to navigate to 3 or 4 different pages? Why can't I read about the space, fall in love with it, want to know where it is, find out if I can afford it and if there's any availability, and then book it rather than contact and inquire now? I get it when I'm booking like Airbnbs and stuff like that. Sometimes we want to contact and ask the property manager a question first, like, is it cool if we have 3 kids come with us instead of what it seems like the rates are only for 2 kids, or we have 2 dogs. Is that cool? All of this could just be condensed into one nice, beautiful page. The footer is just not fixed to the bottom. It's floating up. It's gray. The colors, it's muddy. It's messy. It's disorganized.
This is not okay.
We got this cookie banner. like the footer. Oh, okay. But so I'm only doing this because I want you to win. And I want you to succeed. So the first thing I want to do, now that I see that this kind of, the idea is that it's a nice guest house in Cape Town called the Bayflowers. And I feel like there's so much potential here. So the first thing I like to do is look for inspiration. So let's check out a few here. I've got Das Glashaus. That is, I presume, another, like it's a glass house, maybe? Anyway, it's a property situated in this beautiful rural area. So nice. What I see here is the name itself is a brand with a background image. Get some high production footage of your property. This kind of sells it. I want to go to Das Glashaus. Scroll up, lots of white space, lots of, oh, you can almost breathe. You know, you want to take a vacation. So infos, like information perhaps, or just info, book. I don't like the blurry part, but I'm not analyzing this site. I just want to look at inspiration. Okay, explains what it is, be our guest. That is a cool call to action. The guest house, right? Nice picture. I'm assuming some text is gonna pop up here shortly. No, they just went for text and image. Oh, like I wanna be there. Okay, another image shows up. Ooh, that's interesting. Very cool, like architecture. I like the movement from the curtain blowing. You can just smell the fresh air in the morning. Okay, so lots of just showing beautiful pictures. The site is like a gallery. If you want info, I'm assuming I can scroll to it. Well, it's got a layout. That's cool. So you can kind of see where you park your car, where you sleep, where you drink your coffee. What I learned from this is we could use a lot of white space. We can use cool, breathable space, nice layout, lot of simplicity here, relying heavily on the images. Let's check out another one. This one's called westblock.com.au. Queen Victoria Terrace. So again, beautiful video in the background. So something we could borrow from. Okay. Showing some aerial footage of the place. I assume it's this. With like text centered. So very cool. Menu, register. Okay. Breathing new life into the Canberra icon. Okay, so it's really showing the history of it. Lots of cool imagery. Cool scrolling effects here. Cool layout here. I like this. 2 columns, interesting masked shape with some story. So this looks nice too. This is more of like a property, like a whole property, not just a guest house. Let's check out another one. That house on the beach. The Shippen House. Like we could really borrow from this because we got the Bayflowers guest house. I don't know why we can't have something like this. That house on the beach. Like I want to be there. Big image, centered text, logo, brand, selling the experience visually right away. Nice navigation. Okay, cool brush effect, transitioning the hero image into the content. Nice typography, postcard style graphic with a sailboat in the back. Hope Cove, unique location, selling the location, selling the actual features of the property. You know, what does it have? What's a wet room? Do they have a dry room too? WC. That looks like a toilet. Nice photos, cool branding. This is nice. This is like a one page. I'm assuming this is all one page. See this? How this navigation takes you through each of the aspects? Like if I want to contact them and book them, I'm assuming I have to just email them, which is fine. It's a nice simple way of doing it. But this is great. All this is on one page. So that to me is a good model. I like Das Glashaus. Maybe what I like about the Glasshouse one is, you know, the simplicity, typography. Westblock, what I liked best was the hero. And my favorite is that house on the beach. So when I look at Bayflowers, I feel like much is to be desired here. And there's so much that we can do. So let's do that. Let's fire up a new, I think I'm gonna try this out just straight in Editor X and just build the design as I go. I could open up Figma and just play around with the design in there. But I'm just gonna go straight into Editor X. I don't want any footers, headers. And I want a big image. So I want a big background image at least, if not a big background video. Let's go with this. Like, right here. I'm gonna save that image. Now I'm gonna take this section and I want its height to be 100 VH for the full height of the viewport. Now the Bayflowers Guest House, Cape Town. Let's come up with a logo here that works better. Okay, so I'm just gonna get some free logos and vector art that I can pull from Editor X here. I'm gonna take this one here, add it to the page, and I'm gonna design this vector art so I can see it better on this background. I'm not sold on this background because I know there's gonna be a lot of conflicting information right here visually. I should make the opacity lower. Yes, make it a little more dreamy. I can also make it darker and have the logo mark be white or brighter or a color perhaps. But let's start with like something brighter, almost dreamy, like it's in your vision. The heading, but I'm actually gonna change its style. So it's gonna be a H1 heading tag, but its style, we're just gonna choose a paragraph for now. All right, so now that I got the typography all across the site set to Space Grotesque, now whenever I add elements to the page, headings to paragraphs, it's all gonna be using the right font. Colors, like a cream beige on the white side, and its primary color needs to be this like gentle, warm, toasty green tone. So I'm actually gonna go to coolors.co. Let's explore some trending palettes and see if I can just spot something that I like. This is it. I'm gonna add the color palette straight into the Editor X color site color styles. So here we go. And I'm gonna space out the letter spacing here just to kind of give it an interesting visual vibe there. And I'm gonna change the font size. This is starting to look nice. Okay, so this is already kind of cool. So we're gonna take this stack here and I'm gonna make sure it's nice and centered. I can't read Guest House Cape Town on the back here, so that's not gonna work for me. So I think I'm gonna stick with my lighter color background. I feel like it gives a nice warm linen kind of feel to it. I don't know if something can have a linen feel, but if something ever did have a linen feel, it is this. So I'm gonna add a new section here, just it's gonna be blank for now. Now we need to add some text. So now that we've figured out this introduction of the site, okay, it's already looking a little better here. Let's add a nice navigation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a navigation up at the top here, and we're gonna do something like change the logo. It's gonna be our flower thing. We're gonna add some text, and we'll make sure that it's nice and aligned. And there's our logo. I don't want a full width navigation here. I want it to be in a container. So we're gonna place these three things in a container. So we're gonna make it pinned. And we're gonna overlap the next section. Perfect. So now our container inside of it is gonna have a background of theme color. We need to give this some spacing. We're gonna pad it. Maybe something like 20 pixels on all sides. Okay, so I want the Bayflowers to stand out a little bit like that. And the width of this, probably I want it to be more like 60%. Now, we want our menu to use our theme font of, there we go. Now we want a primary call to action to be, I like this book, or be our guest. I like that. Shipping House doesn't have a book or be our guest, it doesn't have contact. So let's go ahead and add some sections here. So what do we see for the Bayflowers Guest House? So we need to have some nice wording here. Glass House has a nice wording, and this one has a nice one too. So we need to use some wording here. And what I'm gonna do is in this section, I'm gonna find a layout that's already pre-designed. Let's use this one right here. Obviously we need different images. So this is gonna say, come on in, and we'll use our words here. And I'm gonna adjust this grid. And I'm actually gonna do a background on this. I just changed my mind. So it's gonna be super subtle. And maybe instead of this color, I'm gonna use our alternative color here, that kind of copper. Yep. Let's change some images. All right, so we have our main section here. Now we need to go to the space, location, rooms, and rates. So this is kind of like our little selling feature. Maybe we can add a couple more nice images below this to just, I don't know, make it interesting, and then get into each of the pieces. So what if we did I feel like these images should be on the right side, and just let it speak for itself. And let's animate them into. Perfect. And just straight up images, like not even like any information, just space. Maybe we'll add that like boat. Yes. We're gonna use our brand colors here. Now, new section. We need to add a section that is going to include the Bayflowers space, information about the space. This is its own page, doesn't need to be. So what we're gonna do is go back to our site. And we're gonna find a composition that's already designed. That's what I love about Editor X is sometimes you don't need to just reinvent the wheel. This. Okay. And now we need a title actually. So we're gonna add a new section here. And it's gonna just have a big title that says the space. And I want this to be like obnoxiously large. And then over here in this column, I want the text to be there. So I want it to be this like strange visual experience, but very clearly aligned on a grid. Now we can move down into the space. What do we got in the space? We just got pictures, some information. Let's just put some pictures here. Adjust the call to action on this section here. And now we are talking. So we got the local area, we got the breakfast, and now under the space, we've got our services. I feel like there's a cool layout that we can use here to highlight that under services. And in compositions, I think we can literally find something called services and borrow this right here. Services. Now let's add another. I want like this big bit right here, this section. I'm gonna duplicate this whole section. And to make it easier to drag down, I'm gonna go to my layers panel and bring it down one. It should be just down below here. And I'm gonna change this to say our services. Now I'm gonna make it a little smaller just to fit. And I need a little blurb of text that's going to explain our services. So I'm gonna use the Create AI text in Editor X. And this is gonna help me come up with a little blurb of text using AI right within Editor X. Very cool. This one. Bayflowers is perfect holiday destination seeking adventure and relaxation. Perfectly located near the airport this guest house offers, and so on and so forth. Perfect. So now here is where we can add the information, airport transfer concierge. We can add those. So that would be something like, all right. And so that is a nice little bit there. And I kind of want to add a visual element. So let's go back to our decorative vector graphics and let's find something that might represent like services. Okay. So now we have the task of adding a rooms and rates section. Once again, let's go back to our compositions and let's see if we can find something that will show off our rooms and rates in a nice way. Now we need to change the rooms. I'm just going to choose images that we have that might represent the rooms. Nice. Okay. And then finally, just a little contact section. And we'll make this 100 VH, and we'll make this say be our guest. I feel like this would be a great spot for like a testimonial, but this is where you'd put some text for that, and we could say inquire now. Okay. Now, obviously there's more that we need to add here, but what we can do now, since we've got our sections done, we can add some anchors to each of these sections. So let's make sure that we've got them named properly so we can turn them into page anchors and add it to our navigation, and then we are done. So now I can go to our navigation and manage that menu, add some links. It's gonna be our anchors. Now, Let's check it out. All right, so here we go. Bayflowers Guest House, Cape Town. Come on in. Be our guest. Nice imagery. The space. The local area. Breakfast. Our services. Our rooms. Be our guest. Inquire now. Now. And then when you click each of these, it'll take you to each of the sections. Maybe I should have had them in order, because right now they kind of just go up and down all over the place. But that's what I'm talking about. So let's take a look at the original site. So here we've got the original site, the landing page here. And here is the newly redesigned site that I put together based on my own personal preferences, some suggestions from Editor X's compositions and pre-designed sections, and also design principles like spacing, hierarchy, color, balance, hierarchy, and whatnot. And here's the redesigned site. All I did was take the beauty of what the offer is, which is this beautiful space, and brought the site to match it so that you could look at it and want to go there. And that's what a good site design should do. It shouldn't be that the design is beautiful, wow. It should be that your offer is important in some way, and the design rises up to the occasion to meet that challenge. And so the original design doesn't rise up to the occasion to meet the challenge of elevating and highlighting the offer, which is this beautiful space, this guest house, and put it in a context that makes the viewer want to book the space for a vacation. And that's what I think this does. All right, that was fun. If you want your sites redesigned and featured in a video just like this, you want some professional feedback and get my opinion on how I might improve your sites, well, join us in the Creative X crew. The link is down below. It's free to join, and it's our community of creative studio owners, web designers, and high-performing freelancers who are building sites for clients using Editor X. Sometimes other platforms too, but Editor X is the best one. Anyway, join us down below. Link is down below. It's free. We'll see you in there. Share your sites, share your work. And if you don't get featured in a video, that's totally fine, because the community gives lots of great feedback right within the community, within our weekly office hours and discussions that we have every day there in the Creative X crew. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in another video.